Every year, so many games come out. There's just so many, it's nearly impossible to keep up. Inevitably, what happens is games fall under the radar, they just don't get that attention they probably deserved, and so we're going to shine a spotlight on some of them and give you a list today of 10 underrated games that just did not get the love they should have in 2024. This is Vberg, and thank you as always for watching us here at Game Conclave. So let's get into the list before I start yakking about the weather or something. As promised, we've got 10 underrated titles from 2024. And first up we have from High North Studios is Skald Against the Black Priory. Now this is a total retro, throwback, pixel art, western CRPG, just the whole 9 yards. Really great game, totally fell under the radar, fun, tactical turn-based combat, gorgeous pixel art, meaningful dialogue choices, and skill checks. This is a true love letter to old school CRPG design, and we hope that High North Studios finds much success. So if creating a character and then cobbling together a party in a grimdark, Lovecraftian-esque world is your shtick, or you're a fan of Ultima, Pillars of Eternity, the old school Baldur's Gates, or hell, even the new one, and you want to check out a throwback in the vein of the games that inspired Larian, well then slap your boots on and give this one a look on PC. Mullet Mad Jack is a hilarious, frenetic, and frantic first-person shooter by Hammer 95, and I think that this is their first game. In Mullet Mad Jack, man and the internet have merged, and we are now in need of perpetual dopamine hits from watching people kill, and you're charged with rescuing the streamer influencer princess, something like that, and the audience from the live stream app is watching you try to rescue her. And if you don't kill enough of the robots, the audience will get bored because they crave perpetual dopamine and excitement. So if they get bored, you'll lose your life because they won't provide you with extra seconds to live. There's probably some commentary in there on the nature of our society and viewing habits and media consumption, but also it's just hilariously fun. It is really fast-paced, and for those who really want to push themselves, there's a roguelike option at the higher difficulties. Also, those 90s anime aesthetics are totally on point. Check out Mullet Mad Jack on PC, and I really hope to see some console ports.
Badass moderator to take care of our butts! Especially our prices!
Up next, we've got Sumerian 6, which is a really cool real-time strategy tactical stealth game. I really enjoyed my time with this one. I love this genre anyway. The story in this one is pretty interesting. The preface is goofier than hell. You'll be playing as this group of commandos who are fighting against the Nazis, who are trying to capture the mystical substance, the Geiststoff, which can produce unlimited energy. You'll plan out your movement to avoid enemy paths and sight, use your unique mystical skills and experimental tech, and there is a werebear. Anyway, all this is to kill Nazis all around the globe, as one does. So if you're a fan of Shadow Tactics, Desperados, Commandos, Shadow Gambit the Cursed Crew, do yourself a favor and check this one out on PC, and hopefully we will see a console release down the line.
Still breathing.
Nine Souls is made by Red Candle Games, whose previous title was an atmospheric horror game called Detention. Nine Souls, though, is very different. It has a Sekiro, and yes, unlike some other YouTubers, I can pronounce Sekiro, which is Sekiro inspired the Nine Souls deflection system. It's a Souls-like Metroidvania, which is becoming a really popular genre mashup these last few years. So I'm really surprised how little attention this one kind of got last year. I know it was nominated for some various awards here and there at various outlets, but I just felt like I really didn't see a lot of people talking about it online, and that's a shame. It's awesome. It's got this really cool hand-drawn East Asian-inspired aesthetic. The developers are referring to it as cowpunk. And in the story, you play as Yi, who is on a quest for vengeance against the rulers of the realm. So check out Nine Souls on PC, the Xbox Series X, S, and Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Switch. It's everywhere. No reason to not give it a go. Unicorn Overlord is a tactical strategy RPG developed by Vanillaware, who are known for their exceptional art style. These hand-drawn images are always just gorgeous in all their games. Their previous games also had this art style. Those were Dragon's Crown, Odin's Sphere, Grim Grimoire, and the criminally underrated game 13 Sentinels. Anyway, in Unicorn Overlord, you will be playing as the heir to the Kingdom of Cornea, and you will be swept up in events that steer you towards liberating your country from the current oppressive rulers. And the game uses a Gambit-style system akin to what we've seen in the past in Final Fantasy XII and the Dragon Age series. You set up your character's actions, and then they play out in combat, and there's some decisions to be made about recruitment and romance. It's a really, really good game. I have seen tons and tons and tons of praise for it, but I haven't heard much about the game's sales. They stated there won't be a PC port. That makes me worry it didn't perform as well as I would hope. And that's always a shame. Vanillaware makes top-tier stuff. So if you are looking to appreciate their awesome art style, check out a new genre, or just dig into an awesome strategy RPG, check this one out. It's on both the PlayStation and the Switch.
The people of Cornea are suffering, crying out for whatever help will hear their pleas. Should I turn a deaf ear to those voices, I would have little and less claim to the crown I feel is mine.
Banishers Ghost of New Eden is a story-rich action RPG made by Don't Nod Entertainment. They are known for the Life is Strange series and Vampire, which was also a criminally underrated game. Everything these guys do is kind of criminally underrated. Top-notch characterization from the studio over and over. Really interesting mechanics they explore, and some great decision-making and branching story paths. Banishers does all that. This is their latest venture into that foray as an action RPG. You play as both Red and Antea, who are Banishers or Ghost Hunters, and the fun kind of twist here is that Red is alive and Antea is not. So you will be fighting opponents in the real world as Red and then swapping to the spirit world as Antea, as they each contribute to defeating the enemies. Every quest you do will have all sorts of decisions to be made that will have impacts on the story and the endings. And yeah, this one's great. It takes place in the early American colonial period area, which is really interesting. That's just, it's not a setting we see a lot of, and so it's always kind of fun to see it. I would recommend this one strongly to fans of Vampire, things like Mass Effect, Alpha Protocol, Dragon Age, or if you just like what you're seeing and you're not a fan of those previous games, make sure you pick this one up on the Xbox Series S and X, PlayStation 5, or PC.
I banish you. Death to the dead.
Do we kill? To be together again.
Or do we part forever?
And now we've got Still Wakes the Deep. This one is creepy, unsettling, absolutely scary psychological horror game. You're going to feel isolated, you're going to feel despair, you're going to feel alone and anxious, and we loved it here. It's made by the Chinese Room, known for titles like Dear Esther, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, and Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs. So you know it's going to be great. The basic premise is you are working on an oil rig off the coast of Scotland in 1975, and something weird has happened, and you have to try to survive, get off the rig, slink and sneak, just knowing every step might be your last. If you're looking to feel creeped out, scared, or confused, pick this one up. PC, PS5, the Xbox Series S, and the Xbox Series X. Alright, 1000 Resist is a sci-fi adventure made by Sunset Visitor, a Canadian studio, and I believe that this is their first game. At least it was the first one we could find any information on. Set in the distant future, a disease brought to our planet by aliens known as the Occupants has wiped out most of humanity, and the sole survivor has created an underground colony of clones of herself. She is now known as the All-Mother, and you will be playing as one of these clones, a sister known as the Watcher. and your role is to relive the memories of the All-Mother's life and interpret them. And while doing so, you find out things aren't exactly as they appear. This is a game about reflection. This is a game about exploration, and not just the world you'll be walking through, but what's transpired to its occupants. It might make you ponder on some things in your own life, or the world in general. If you're a fan of games like Slay the Princess, or Detroit Become Human, Telltale's The Walking Dead, or if you just want to experience something different, check this one out. It is on the Nintendo Switch and PC.
And it feels very far from me.
Alright, and up next we have Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes. Now, preface, I am a little biased on this one. I'll be upfront. One of my favorite game series of all time is the Suikoden series, which was created by some of the same people that worked on Eiyuden, and so there's a lot of similarities in the DNA of these two games. My wife and I really enjoyed our time with this. As I mentioned, the game was made by a studio that incorporates people who worked on Suikoden, as well as some people from Castlevania. It's called Rabbit and Bear Studios, and this is their first venture, which was a successful Kickstarter. Like the Suikoden series, Eiyuden revolves around recruiting heroes, adventurers, vagabonds, bandits, and all sorts of people who are going to come together against a superior force that's destabilizing the region. You've got 6-party member turn-based battles, duels, strategy battles, and mini games out the wazoo. I couldn't even tell you how many hours of my life, me and my wife, we lost to that card game. It was stupidly addicting. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Begema game, though, but the theater is freaking hilarious. There's just so much to do in this game. The cooking minigame. I love the cooking minigame. It's fantastic. Anyway, there's so much to do in this game. There's so much to see. The rune system is as deep or as shallow as you want it to be. With all that said, I enjoyed the story, but I do wish that it had dug a little bit deeper into some of those themes, gone a little darker. This was a story about warfare, and I wanted just a little bit more from them, but I really love this as the beginning of a franchise. So I hope to see them dig deeper into that next time and just hit home on the horrors of war. It came out on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, and Xbox Series X, PC, and Switch. Though, preface, the Switch version did have some technical difficulties at launch, but last I heard they had patched all that out and fixed it up. So if you dig JRPGs, love minigames, love war-themed stories, check this one out.
Bite your tongue, you scurvy June rat! I'll not be getting near that wet stuff, nor have it mentioned on this ship!
Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven is a wonderful remake of a classic JRPG. In fact, it's such a good remake, this should be the staple of what remakes should aspire to be. The level of attention to detail, while just respecting the original game, is just, and bringing it in line with the expectations of modern players, is astounding. The quality of life features were perfect. It was handled by Zine Incorporated and published by Square Enix. Now, if you're not familiar with the SaGa series, this is a remake of a 1993 Super Nintendo RPG that we actually only got stateside as a remaster back in 2017. The SaGa series is known for non-linear gameplay, challenging combat, and their really cool organic leveling system. Your characters will level as you use them in combat based on how you use them. So if you're using much physical attacks, or physical stats will go up, magic attacks, magic stats go up, etc. It also has a really similar skill learning system that they call the Glimmer. This has your characters learn techniques as they use them. So like every time you use a technique, there's a chance you'll learn a new one. It's really cool. Each SaGa game also has its own kind of unique twist that they do different from the others. In SaGa, Romancing Saga 2, the twist is that your character can die, and the story just keeps going. There's an inheritance system where you pass your skills and techniques on to a successor to continue the story. I'm absolutely just floored and shocked at the level of glow up this game was given. I hope to see more of this from Square Enix. I think people are just kind of starting to take notice of the SaGa series, and it makes me really happy. I've been playing SaGa games since 1997, so if you dig turn-based combat with tons of depth in your combat systems, you'll probably want to give this one a go on PS4, PS5, Switch, or PC. Make sure you're subscribed because we got a second part of Underrated Games of 2024 coming later in the week. Please don't forget to give us a like and leave a comment below if you're going to check out any of these games. And as always, thank you for watching us here at Game Conclave.